A forsaken garden by Bai Juyi. I enter the court through the middle gate, and my sleeve is wet with tears. The flowers still grow in the courtyard, for 2 springs have fled since last their master came. The windows, porch, and bamboo screen are just as they always were, but at the entrance to the house someone is missing. You. A lament for my son Sui, by Bai Juyi. You were a pearl in the palm of my hand, my tiny baby boy. Why is it that I, a white-haired man of threescore years, am left behind, and you, a child of 3, must by heaven's silent, stern decree precede me to its strange and far land of death? My heart is wounded sorely, and not with a blade of steel, while eyes are dimmed and dull, but not with the dust of earth. These arms that held you closely to my breast are empty now. The morn is distinct foe of old, my only son. A song of a palace, by Bai Juyi. Her tears are spent, but no dreams come. She can hear the other singing through the night. She's lost his laugh. Alone with her beauty she leans till dawn on her incense pillar. A suggestion to my friend Liu, by Bai Juyi. There's a gleam of green in an old bottle. There's a stir of red in the quiet stove. There's a feeling of snow in the dusk outside. What about a cup of wine inside? A visit to Qiantang Lake in spring, by Bai Juyi. Qiantang pavilion west. Water surface now is calm, the bottom of the clouds low. In several places first orioles are fighting in warm trees. Every house new swallows peck at spring mud. Disordered flowers have grown almost enough to confuse the eye. Bright grass is able not to hide the hoofs of horses. I most love the east of the lake. I cannot come often enough within the shade of green poplars on white sand embankment. After collecting the autumn taxes, by Bai Juyi. From a high castle I look at the town below, where the natives of Park cluster like a swarm of flies. How can I govern these people and lead them aright? I cannot even understand what they say, but at least I am glad, now the taxes are in, to learn that in my providence there is no discontent. I fear its prosperity is not due to me, and was only caused by the year's abundant crops. The papers that lie on my desk are simple and few. My house by the moat is leisurely and still. The autumn rain the berries fall from the eaves. The evening bell the birds return to the wood. In broken sunlight quivers over the southern pork, where I lie on my couch abandoned of idleness. After lunch, by Bai Juyi. After eating lunch I feel so sleepy. Waking later I sip 2 bowls of tea. The notice shadows aslant, the sun already low in the southwest again. Joyful people resent fleeting days. Sad ones can't bear the slow years. It's those with no joy and no sorrow, they trust whatever this life brings. After passing the examination, by Bai Juyi. For 10 years I never left my books. I went up and won unmerited praise. My high place I do not much prize. The joy of my parents will first make me proud. Fellow students, 6 or 7 men, see me off as I leave the city gate. My covered couch is ready to drive away. Flutes and strings blend the parting tune. Hopes achieved dull the pains of parting. Fumes of wine shorten the long road. Shot with wings in the horse of him who rides on a spring near the road that leads to home. An invitation to Mr Liu, by Bai Juyi. Green leaves of beer that's newly brewed, a little stove of red clay burns. As evening comes the sky's about to snow. Can you drink 1 cup with me? At the end of spring, by Bai Juyi. The flower of a pear tree gathers and turns to fruit. The swallow's eggs have hatched into young birds. And the season's changes thus confront the mind. What comforts can the doctrine of Chao give? It will teach me to watch the days and months fly, without grieving that youth slips away. If a fleeting world is but a long dream, it does not matter whether one is young or old. And ever since the day that my friend left my side, and has lived in exile in the city of Qiantang, there is one wish I cannot quite destroy, that from time to time we may chance to meet again. Autumn cold, by Bai Juyi. Here's my snowy crown, time's tinted decrepitude. There's the frost in the courtyard, autumn's glittery breath. Now I'm sick and just watching my wife pick her else, while I'm frozen waiting for the maid to comb my hair. My body would use fame. Worldly things I've put aside, tranquilly yet aloof my heart, determined now to learn from empty boats. Autumn thoughts, sent far away, by Juyi. We share all these disappointments of failing, autumn 1,000 miles apart. This is where autumn wind easily plunders courtyard trees, but the source of distance never scatter away. Swallow shadowed shake our homeward wings, orchard scans thin, drifting from out thickets. These lovely seasons and fragrant years falling lonely away, we share such emptiness here. Drunk again, Bai Juyi. Last year when I lay sick, I vowed I'd never touch a drop again as long as I should live. Who could know last year what this year's spring would bring? And here I am, coming home from Oriole's house, as drunk as I can be. Escorting candidates to the examination hall, Bai Juyi. At dawn I rode to escort the doctors of art. In the eastern quarter the sky was still grey. I said to myself, you have started far too soon, and horses and coaches already thronged the road. High and low the riders' torches bobbed, muffled or loud a watchman's drumbeat. Riders, when I see you prick to your early levee, pity fills my heart. When the sun rises and the hot dust flies, and the creatures of earth resume their great strife, you with your striving, what will you each seek? Profit and fame, and that is all your care. But I, you courtiers, rise from my bed at noon, and live idly in the city of Qiantang. Spring is deep in my term of office spent. Day by day my thoughts go back to the hills. Fishing in the Wei River, by Bai Juyi. In water still as the burnished mirror's face, and the depths of Wei, carp and grayling swim. Idly I come with my bamboo fishing rod and hang my hook by the banks of Wei stream. A gentle wind blows on my fishing gear, softly shaking my 10 feet of line. For my body sits waiting for fish to come, and my heart has wandered to the land of nothingness. Long ago a white-headed man also fished at the same riverside. Hooker of man, not a hooker of fish. At 70 years he called men Wang. I, when I come to cast my hook in the stream, have not fought either of fish or man. Lacking the skill to capture ever prey, I can only bask in the autumn water's light. When I tire of this, my fishing also stops. I go to my home and drink my cup of wine. Flower, no flower, but Bai Juyi. Flower, no flower, mist, no mist. Arrives at midnight and leaves at dawn. Arrives like a spring dream, how many times, leaves like a morning cloud, nowhere to find. Going alone to spend the night at the Hsien temple, by Bai Juyi. The crane from the shore standing at the top of the steps, the moon in the pool seen at the open door. Where we are, I made my lodging place, and for 2 nights could not turn away. I am glad I chanced in a place so lonely and still, with no companion to drag me early home. Now that I have tasted the joy of being alone, I will never again come with a friend at my side. Golden Bells, by Bai Juyi. When I was almost 40, I had a daughter whose name was Golden Bells. Now it is just a year since she was born. She is learning to sit and cannot yet talk, ashamed to find that I have not a sage's heart. Henceforward I am tied to things outside myself. I only avoid the pleasure I am getting now. If I am spared the grief of the dying young, then I shall have the trouble of getting married. The plan for retiring and going back to the hills must now be postponed for 15 years. Grass, by Bai Juyi. The grass is spreading out across the plain. Each year it dies and flourishes again. Its burnt but not destroyed by prairie fires, and when spring winds blow they bring it back to life. Afar its scant invades the ancient road, its emerald green overruns the ruined town. Again I see my noble friend depart, I find I'm crowded full of parting's feelings. Grasses, by Juyi. Boundless grasses of the plain come and go with every season. Wildfire never quite consumes them, they are tall once more in the spring wind. Sweet they press on the old high road and reach the crumbling city gate. A prince of friends, you are gone again, I hear them sighing after you. Hearing the early Oriole, by Bai Juyi. When the sun rose I was still lying in bed. An early Oriole sang on the roof of my house. For a moment I thought of Royal Park at dawn, and the birds of spring greeted the Lord from the trees. I remember the days when I served before the throne, pens in hand, on duty at the Changming. At the height of spring, when I paused an instant from work morning and evening, was this the voice I heard? Now Meg still the Oriole sings again in the dreary stillness of Hsien young town. The bird's note cannot really have changed. All the difference lies in the listener's heart. If he could but forget that he lives at the world's end, the bird would sing as it sang in the palace of old. Illness and Idleness, by Bai Juyi. Illness and idleness give me much leisure. What do I do with my leisure when it comes? I cannot bring myself to discard inkstone and brush, now and then I make a new poem. And if a poem is made, it is slight and flavorless, a thing of derision to almost everyone. Superior people will be pained by the flatness of Mitra, common people will hate the plainness of the words. I sing it to myself and stop and think about it. The perfects of Su Shu and Peng Tse would perhaps have praised it, but they died long ago. Who else would care to hear it? No one today except Yuan Shen, and he is banished to the city of Xiangling. For 3 years an usher in the penal court. Parted from me by 3,000 leagues, he will never know even that the poem was made. Kept waiting by Bai Juyi. White billows and huge waves block the river crossing. Wherever I go, danger and difficulty. Whatever I do, failure. Just as in my worldly career I wander and lose the road. So when I come to a river crossing, I am stopped by contrary winds, or fishes and prawns sodden in the rain, the smell fills my nostrils. With the stings of insects that come with the fog, my whole body is sore. I am growing old, time flies, my short span runs out, but I sit in a boat at Yuku, wasting 10 days. Lazy Man's Song by Bai Juyi. I've got patronage, but I'm too lazy to use it. I've got land, but I'm too lazy to farm it. My house leaks, I'm too lazy to mend it. My clothes are torn, I'm too lazy to darn them. I've got wine, but I'm too lazy to drink, so it's just the same as if my cellar were empty. I've got a harp, but I'm too lazy to play, it's just the same as if it had no strings. I've tails and there's no more bread in the house, I want to bake, but I'm too lazy to grind. My friends and relatives write me long letters, I should like to read them, but they're such a bother to open. I've always been told that Shi Shu Yi passed his whole life in absolute idleness, and he played the harp and sometimes transmuted metals, so even he was not so lazy as I. Lodging with the Old Man of a Stream by Bai Juyi. Men's hearts love gold and jade, men's mouths covet wine and flesh, not so the Old Man of a Stream. He drinks from his gourd and asks nothing more. South of a stream he cuts firewood and grass, north of a stream he has built wall and roof. Yearly he sows a single acre of land. In spring he drives to yellow calves. In these things he finds great repose. Beyond these he has no wish or care. By chance I meet him walking by the waterside. He took me home and lodged me in this thatched hut. And I parted from him to seek market and court, without man asked my rank and pay. Adopting my tale, he laughed loud and long. Privy councillors do not sleep in barns. Night on the West River by Bai Juyi. No moon to light my way upon the stair, cold comfort in the wine I drink alone. Black clouds rain the hurried flight of birds, water flowing greyly in the dusk. A rising storm, boats tugging at their mooring ropes, or sails full spread to take advantage of the wind. Moving point of fire in the dark, the distant lantern of a passing boat. Night Snow by Bai Juyi. Startled at the cold stiffness of my pillow, I see the window is a sheet of pure white. Deep in the night the weight of snow increases until I hear bamboo snapping in the darkness. On Being Stricken with Paralysis by Bai Juyi. Good friends, waste your time in wailing and in sympathy for me. Surely from time to time I shall be strong enough to move about a bit. As for travel on land, they are carrying chairs, and on water there are boats, so if I can but keep my courage, what need have I of feet? Peach Blossom at Dalin Temple by Bai Juyi. Across the world this June the petals all have fallen, and the mountain temple's peach blossom has just begun to bloom. I regretted so much that spring had gone without a trace. I didn't know that it had only moved up here. Poem of the Moon by Bai Juyi. My heritage lost through disorder and famine, my brothers and sisters flung eastward and westward, my fields and gardens wrecked by the war, my own flesh and blood become scum of the street. I moan to my shadow like a lone wandering wild goose. I am torn from my root like a water plant in autumn. I gaze at the moon and my tears run down, for hearts in 5 places, all sick with one wish. Poems in Depression by Bai Juyi. I hug my pillow and do not speak a word. My empty room no sound stirs. Who knows that all day abed I am not ill and am not even asleep? Turn to jade are the boy's rosy cheeks, to his sick temples the frost of winter clings. Do not wonder that my body sinks to decay, though my limbs are old, my heart is older yet. Rain at Night by Bai Juyi. North of solitary mountain temple and west of Chia Pavilion, a water surface is flattened by the wet feet of clouds. Early wabas dart and flutter, squabbling aimed warm trees. Around someone's house new swallows peck mud for their nests. Wildflowers will soon flourish enough to overwhelm one's eyes, but now the shallow grass barely submerges the horse's hoofs. I love the East Lake most. I don't come this way often enough. In the shade of green willows lies white sand embankment. Rain, by Bai Juyi. Since I lived a stranger in the city of Qiantang, hour by hour bitter rain has poured. On few days has the dark sky cleared. In listless sleep I have spent much time. The lake has widened till it almost joins the sky. The clouds sink till they touch the water's face. Beyond my hedge I hear the boatman's talk. At the street and I hear the fisher's song. Misty birds are lost in yellow air. Windy sails kick the white waves. In front of my gate the horse and carriage way in a single night is turned into a riverbed. Rain on autumn night, by Bai Juyi. Cold, cold this third night of autumn, rain makes me sleepy alone. This old man is contented and idle. It's late when I extinguish the lamp and lie down to sleep, listening to the beautiful sound of rain, incense ashes still glowing in the burner. My only heat in this lodging. At daybreak I will stay under the quilt to stay warm, and the steps will be covered by frosty red leaves. Reading Laozi, by Bai Juyi. Those who speak do not know, those who know are silent. I hear this saying from the old gentleman. If the old gentleman was the one who knew the way, why did he feel about to write 5,000 words? Remembering south of the river, by Bai Juyi. South of the river is good. Long ago I knew the landscape well. At sunrise the river's flowers are red like fire. In spring the river's waters green as lilies. How could I not remember south of the river? Resignation, by Bai Juyi. Don't think of the past, it only awakens painful regrets. Don't think of the future, it paralyzes with uncertain longings. Better by day to sit like a sack in your chair, better by night to lie like a stone in your bed. And food comes open your mouth, when sleep comes shut your eyes. Returning late on the road from Pingquan on a winter's day, by Bai Juyi. The mountain road is hard to travel, the sun was slanting down. In a misty village, a crow lands on a frosted tree. I'll not arrive before night falls, and that should not concern me. Once I've drunk 3 warm cups, I'll feel as if at home. Sleeping on a night of autumn rain, by Bai Juyi. It's cold this night in autumn's third month, peacefully within a lone old man. He lies down late, the lamp already gone out, and beautifully sleeps with the sound of rain. The ash inside the vessel still warm from the fire, its fragrance increases the warmth of quilt and covers. When dawn comes, clear and cold, he does not rise, red frosted leaves cover the steps. Song of Sunset on the River, by Bai Juyi. A strip of water spread in the setting sun, half the river's emerald, half is red. I love the third night of the 9th month, the dews like pearl, the moon like a bow. Song of a Palace, by Bai Juyi. Anger she falls soaks in tears as she cannot dream, and deepest night before the palace voices sing. Rosy cheeks aren't old, but first love has been cut, leaning, wrapped in smoke, she sits until the dawn. Spring sleep, by Bai Juyi. The pillow's low, the quilt is warm, the body smooth and peaceful, sun shines in the door of the room, the curtain not yet open. Still the youthful taste of spring remains in the air, often it will come to you even in your sleep. Spring visit, by Bai Juyi. Remnants of sun ribbon the river, half and half, bake like red. Third night, 9th month, lovely hour, pearly dew, bent bow moon. The almond blossoms of Chao village, by Bai Juyi. For 15 long years, times without number, I have come to see the red almond blossoms open in the spring. Now I'm growing old, I am old of 73, it is hard for my old legs to come thus far. I fear that this time is the last and I have come to the red blossoms of the almond a long farewell. The beginning of summer, by Bai Juyi. At the rise of summer 100 beasts and trees joining gladness with the season bids them thrive. Stags and does frolic in the deep woods. Snakes and insects are plished by the rank grass. The bloom is not a bloom, by Bai Juyi. The mist, not mist, at midnight she comes and goes again at dawn. She comes like a spring dream. How long will she stay? She goes like morning cloud, without a trace. The cranes, by Bai Juyi. The western wind is blown but a few days, yet the first leaf already flies from the bough. On the drying paths I walk in my thin shoes. A first coat I have donned my quilted coat. Through shallow ditches the floods are clearing away, through sparse bamboo trickles a slanting light. In the early dusk, down an alley of green moss, the garden boy is leading the cranes home. The Grain Tribute by Bai Juyi. There came an officer knocking by night at my door in a loud voice demanding grain tribute. My house servants dared not wait till the morning, but brought candles and set them on the barn floor. Passed through the sieve, clean washed as pearls, a whole cartload, 30 bushels of grain. But still they cry that it is not paid in full. Of whips and curses they got my servants and boys. Once in error I entered public life. I'm inwardly ashamed that my talents were not sufficient. In succession I occupied 4 official posts, for doing nothing 10 years' salary. Often I have heard that saying of ancient man that good and ill follow in an endless chain, and today it ought to set my heart at rest to return to others the corn in my great barn. The grand houses at Luoyang by Bai Juyi. The woods and water whose houses are these, the fire gates and wide stretching lands. On the blue gables gated fishes hang, by red pillars carven coursers run. The Philosopher by Bai Juyi. Those who speak know nothing, those who know are silent. These words, as I am told, were spoken by Laozi. If we are to believe that Laozi was himself one who knew, how comes it that he wrote a book of 5,000 words? The Poem on the Wall by Bai Juyi. My clumsy poem on the inn wall none cared to see. Of bird droppings and moss grove the letter were blotched away. There came a guest, with heart so full, that for a page to the throne he did not grudge with his broiling coat whip off the dust and read. Watching the reapers by Bai Juyi. Tillers of the soil a few idle months. In the 5th month the toil is double-fold. As often visits the fields at night, suddenly the hill is covered with yellow corn. Wives and daughters shoulder baskets of rice, youths and boys carry flasks of wine. Following after they bring a wage of meat to the strong reapers toiling on the southern hill, whose feet are burned by the hot earth they tread, whose backs are scorched by flames of a shining sky. Tired their toil, caring nothing for the heat, grudging the shortness of a long summer day, a poor woman follows at the reaper's side, with an infant child carried close to her breast. With her right hand she gleans the fallen grain, on her left arm a broken basket hangs. And I today, the virtue for it right, had never once tended field or tree. My government pays 300 tons. At the year's end I have still grain in hand. Thinking of this secretly I grew ashamed. All day and thought lingered in my head. Winter Night by Juyi. My house is poor. Was that the love have left me. Body is sick, cannot join the feast. There is not a living soul before my eyes, as I lie alone locked in my cottage room. A broken lamp burns with feeble flame. Lighted curtains are crocked and do not meet. On the doorstep and windowsill, again I hear the new snowfall. As I grow older, gradually I sleep less. I wake at midnight and sit up straight in bed. If I had not learned the art of sitting and forgetting, how could I bear this utter loneliness? Stiff and stark my body cleaves to the earth. Unimpeded my soul yields to change. So has it been for 4 hateful years, for 1,300 nights.